in game and take a look at the bans.
Let's jump on in, shall we, my friends? Second matchup of the day between eUnited and Disrupt. Gonna be a good time, guys. We got a good map pool here. Should be showing off quite a few strats, and having a theme park game isn't the worst thing in the world either, especially, again, after that earlier game, we saw that there can be fireworks on theme park. Even though it is theme park, usually isn't the most amount of fun for anyone, honestly. But Thatcher gonna be the first one banned out. Second offensive ban, mulling over by eUnited to see exactly what they want to take away.
Take a look here at the second ban. Thatcher Maverick combo is potentially lurking here if that is going to be the second ban. And no, actually, it's going to be a Nomad knocked out here. Quite a bit of roaming presence. And obviously, Nomad being very useful for being able to, well, deal with that roaming presence. So knocking it out certainly makes things a little bit easier for eUnited, especially considering, well, they're going to be starting on attack. So it's an interesting choice. By the way, Mute is going to get banned out. We got a much more interesting ban coming in there. Stokes, let's talk about it.
All right, this mute ban is very, very interesting. Mute can be used in a lot of different ways. I am going to come out right now and say it. I don't know in particular why eUnited has banned mute here. What I can tell you is, though, is that he can split a lot of things up. And what I mean by that is that he can be split for wall denial as well as denying drones and helping you with that. Has a nitro cell to play vertical play as well. And with that shotgun gone, you're up to just smoke for site recreation unless you have impacts as well. So they more than likely saw a lot of teams using mute on this map to deny drones or what have you, and decided that was a good ban to take away. I like the ban a lot just because it's going to open up a lot of doors for their drones to get in, mainly because Mozzie's a lot easier to deal with as opposed to those mute jammers.
I've noticed on the maps that we've casted for Theme Park 2 that mute is very often used as a lot of passive wall denial in areas like Throne Room, so getting it out for that reason is also going to help and probably potentially force defenders to go on to either more active denial or just completely leave the denial out of the picture for that round as well. So that could also be another reason behind it. Either way, I think it could end up being a pretty good choice. We'll see how that all comes to fruition as we're now getting into our first round. Now, we'll be starting out in that very site that I was just talking about. Throne Room is the battleground where DG have chosen to start off at.
I got super tunnel visioned on that mute ban. What was our last ban there for defense? Valkyrie. Okay, that's a good one right there. That's a one that's pretty much a regular now. Everyone knows that one. So the other thing about that mute ban that's very interesting for me is that now you're practically forced to either play Bandit or bring the Kaid for those wall denials. Obviously, again, you can impact trick, but when it comes to site presence, I feel like overall Mute has a better presence on site than those two operators do, just because of the shotgun as well as the SMG-11. It's so useful in clearing out those doors. Very interesting ADS setup here. It seems that DG are well and prepared for them to be taking control of maintenance.
As far as roaming setup is concerned, NJR is going to be your point man on that shuttle, assisting a little bit, it seems, as well. Although he may still be up here just trying to assist with setup, as if you'll remember, Castle, of course, does have the Super Shorty as a secondary shotgun now, so he can assist with trying to open up rotate holes around the map, as he just did there at the back of the arcade hallway. Rexon will waste no time for eUnited getting control of Cafe, and Disrupt will not resist it, at least initially. You've got those two roamers over in the other site to his right now, trying to resist from there. And NJR has actually crawled out to arcade, so he's going to be also holding a position from here. Shuttle with an opportunity to trade back some of those bullets, but it's not going to be too successful on that regard. So just passing bullets in the wind, neither player will be able to successfully spot the other one out of that situation. But NJR is still patiently waiting for his chance to strike. Unfortunately, he's going to lose it, though, as the drone spots him out, so his position is very well known now, and he will have to change it up.
NGR stuck inside of daycare for the time being. Rexon having top arcade control as well as Grixer on the break window. Nice pinch going on here, but they still need that third member to try and assist. That's going to be on Kansan as he clears across on the opposite side of the map. This east to west clear, but Rexon with the very first punch and an immediate hit from Alfama as well. Takes down NJR as well as Shuttle. Two early picks that are going to have a big influence on this round. Only a minute and 30 down, and DG already with two members off the board.
Yep, up to J90, Retro, and Reed now for Disrupt. NJR, one of the most impactful players for DG, now gone, at least for this round. And eUnited are going to waste no time opening up the upstairs hatch now that they've dealt with a roaming presence here. That's the split hatch, now accessible to the attackers. No additional presence downstairs either. It may be changing, though, as Reed is starting to lurk his way up through Dragon Steps right now. Whether he'll stick around here and try to make a move on his opponents is still yet to be seen, though. He'll note that that castle wall is kind of blocking him off, and he's going to get spotted by a drone. So any of his attempts to get aggressive are pretty quickly going to get dashed right here. And now Fama pushes the advantage for eUnited even further over by Yellow Wall. He's able to take out J90 deep in the site right by the throne.
Nice setup here from eUnited, taking their time, breaking down the site, as well as getting this intel here in the mid round, is making this go very smoothly for them. Got every single door locked off now. Drop into Dragon, able to see Retro, lights him up, but it's actually the pre-fire here from Kansan as he swings the Dragon door. Reed takes down one with the SMG-11, make it two now, but not a very deep mag capacity on that gun. Got to switch over to the M590, but still able to clean up Kansan with that smoke grenade, although the diffuser will go down. 40 seconds on the clock now for Reed to try and clutch this up. Remember, he needs those 7 sweet seconds to get that diffuser done and dealt with. It's all up to eUnited now to play that defense. Reed starts off by pushing out of the door from Dragon, but Rexon, very quick to the trigger, takes down Reed on the rotate, and eUnited bag round 1.
Yeah, eUnited definitely making quick work of this throne room defense. A valiant attempt by Reed at the end, of course, just too little too late at the end of the day. eUnited deals with the roaming presence with a massive excess of time remaining there. They have all that extra time to set up their actual execute, and unfortunately, due to the fact that no one else from DG is able to successfully set themselves up for any more aggressive swings, it just comes down to a 3v5 basically on the actual site take, which eUnited wins that one out pretty quickly as well. Smooth sailing so far for that roster. Now we get to see if it continues. And in fact, eUnited will get to repeat more than likely that same exact attacking strategy, as it looks like Disrupt are going to be trying that site once again.
It looks like we are going to be headed back to Throne. Big question, though. How is DG going to do on the roam this time around? Obviously, we're going back here. They want to make some changes and see exactly how they can have an impact here. We are going to be bringing J90 with the Malusi, or J90, excuse me. Still have to worry about that roam game upstairs for DG. And the big concern for me with that is that DG really didn't have too many reinforcements or really utility to support that roam game. And eUnited practically walked in the door upstairs and was able to get all the angles they truly needed. I mean, they walk inside of cafes, start clearing east to west, get the pinch on the backside of arcade, and all of a sudden DG has nowhere to go. They have to try and take these gunfights, and eUnited won them on all fronts. So they're going to have to try and deal with this pinch a little bit better.
See how that will all pan out as eUnited is once again out on the board here. We've got most of their players, same as last round, working their way in from Dragon's side initially. I believe we might have one over towards the cafe side as well if the same plan is going to be used in the previous round. I'll correct myself. We do not. Thank you, Mr. Observer. So everybody working their way in from bumper cars. See the control they look to take, and it's actually going pretty quickly downstairs, which at the moment, Disrupt doesn't have anyone to resist this. So Gong, along with that electrical hallway, is already going to go into the hands of eUnited. They're going to be able to take the wall just outside of the site as well, around that 90 corner from the control they're taking now. Control's going to start to spread itself upstairs here too after they've cleared out Gong and some of the initial areas downstairs. So that's where the focus will shift here for eUnited, as they are very well aware of the fact they still need to clear out this roaming presence.
Well, eUnited have identified that the roam game is switched up upstairs. Don't want to deal with it now that DG has some more pressure centralized around that with these reinforcements and new angles brought in. So going for the horizontal take instead. They've got a really nice setup here with multiple EU members cutting off the rotates for DG down yellow stairs and really any entryway to the eastern side of the map. They're kind of stumped. They're going to have to fight through these angles now or try and get back to site to assist their team. First set of Selmas go off here. NJR allowing the wall open, I do believe, and he's in tandem here with Shuttle on yellow. That is indeed going to be the yellow wall open now, as they are able to play the breach. Drones centralized around it. eUnited still trying to work their way into the back of Throne, though, and this is what's holding them up. Not like they don't have enough time, though. Still have the minute 30 here as that wall opens up. eUnited now just have to get through this utility to try and set a plant down.
Interesting strategy here so far from eUnited, and for the most part ignoring a large presence from DG that is upstairs right now, hoping that they might be able to brute force their way into the site itself, and they may just be correct about that. But still, with a minute to go, we've yet to see any real version of the execute from eUnited. They've got a couple angles open up. They definitely have something to work with. It's whether they want to fully commit to this as of yet, though, that we haven't really seen. A few players from eUnited are rotating, and we still have this bundle of roamers sitting upstairs here that's yet to be dealt with by eUnited. Mainly sitting in cash right there from the looks of the silhouettes that we just checked a minute ago. Grixer, though, is going to start dealing with quite a few of those players. Both J90 and NJR, arguably two of the most impactful players from DG, now gone, and at least only Shuttle Upstairs here, Reed also taking some heat deeper in the site as it looks like the execute is getting started. Shuttle with a great opportunity to impact here, though, does some good damage, takes one player out, downs the second one. Another one's also taken out by Reed as well there. DG might yet turn this round back on its heels as now it goes down to a 2v3. Alfama's going to leap in sight, though, with just a few seconds remaining. He needs to get control of the diffuser back. He's lost another teammate. Rexon's gone down. It's all up to him, and Retro is going to be able to finish things off from around the corner here in maintenance as he takes out Alfama and dashes any chance of a clutch.
Just a very awkward round there from both of these teams. It really felt like they were trying to feel out exactly what was going on with each other, which is pretty obvious, but the big play there being Shuttle, which everyone could also see with their eyes. Nice roam defense initially from eUnited, had a big shutdown there, but I don't think that they were ready for a third person to be upstairs. All of them turned their sights towards the site when they didn't have true intel on exactly what was going on inside. They eventually tried to rotate to barrels, but it was just too little too late. eUnited gets eaten up from the roam game from DG, just didn't put enough respect on the name. We're now headed to bunk daycare with a little bit of a change up here. Gonna drop the Maestro, pick up the castle, see if we're in for a good time.
Very, very weird round from eUnited, considering it was a very similar setup, but we just saw different positions kind of being taken by the roamers there. United had no problem dealing with it on the previous round, but this time it goes largely ignored, as I said before, and the negatives effects of that are shown very obviously at the end of the round when blanks galore thrown at eUnited and they lose a large majority of their force that was trying to push into the site. Success for DG. It's now going to ship them upstairs into bunks for their next site hold here. For United, of course, we'll also look for revenge and try to take the lead back.
10 seconds insertion.
Well, DG going to be extending things to the east, which is exactly what we expect out of this site. Reinforcements going down now. Like the setup here that they're bringing with the my Jaeger combo just for some extra burn. No Goyo, but they do have the castle barricades just to add that extra little spice of life. Gonna cut off some angles, especially those long ones like the one Reed is cutting off right now for the security office into B. With that rotate being there, it's just very difficult to try and contest with any of the SMGs that are mostly used by the defensive operators, all except for more than likely Shuttle, who's got that AUG. So DG now ready and set up here. United looking like they might be going for just a very low map control execute here. Already have Yeti and Rexon set up outside of Cafe, but again, this could always change at any moment.
Trying to see that early Cafe pressure roaming in now. We've got two drones on the inside of the room clearing things out, and in a second they're going to roll right past Shuttles. They see the Womai set up. Now they have to come up with a plan to deal with it. Of course, as they more than likely noticed, there's two ADSs here on top of any of the discs that might be getting thrown out by Shuttle now. Those magnets that you just on throw on the left wall. Kansan is going to take some heat as it looks like he tried to get into an exchange with one of the players through a repel point, but does not come out with much success, and in fact loses a little under half of his HP. Shuttle, though, not going to feel too secure in his position anymore and does have to shuffle back over towards waiting room.
Well, eUnited still setting up outside of Cafe, about halfway through the round now, though, and really worse for wear on this timer map control-wise, especially when it comes to the drone economy. That thing has been absolutely destroyed by Disrupt. There's so many drones in the graveyard right now as they're only halfway through this round. eUnited's going to have to start face-checking a lot of things, and that's going to lead to quite a few gunfights. Hopefully they go in their favor for their sake. But still have some drones on the board, and that doesn't mean that they can't get intel. Gonna get rid of the ADS right outside the Cafe door as they begin to constrict around this site. Kansan here with the duo of Rexon, trying to get the initial pick, but it's gonna actually be NJR as he takes down Yeti.
Good start for Disrupt and a very slow broil so far here from eUnited. Two of their players now going to move up onto the roof, but Rexon at least will quickly hop back down and re-peek to the inside of Cafe. Quite a few players in the area that'll have to deal with if he continues on this path. NJR, of course, on a very tight angle against that door right now, trying to immediately punish if we do end up seeing Rexon move through and out into that angle. There we go. NJR gets the spot. Knows he's there now. Doesn't have full confirmation on the swing if it happened or not, though, so he's got to be a little cautious, but I think he's got the right read on this one. Rexon, in the meantime, is looking for a path out and trying to play to the soft destruction angle as well. In fact, he gets the player way over, and Office swings around and takes out NJR as well. Shuttle will finally trade him, but now the damage has been done, and we go down into a 3v2 scenario with eUnited having control. Doesn't mean they're going to win the round yet, though. This is still very easily winnable by Disrupt. Shuttle goes off with one more before being traded by Alfama, and now it all falls to Reed in a 1v2. Plant still needs to be made here by eUnited. First attempt being made now by Alfama. Reed around the corner with the super short. He takes takes out one. He can't interrupt the plant though, but he knows exactly where Alfama is. However, Alfama wins it out anyway, and eUnited take control of round number 3.
The Frenchman living in America. Welcome, Alfama. Great clutch up by eUnited there. Amazing move and very smart by them overall. They leaned on Rexon to have a large impact from Cafe. He sat there practically the entire time just contesting, pre-firing angles, and we were mostly on him for the duration of that round. But the good news about that is he was a distraction the entire time. They eventually rotated all of their utility operators as well as Grixer on the Zofia all the way over through security into initiation, take site, and try and force a plant down. And that's exactly what they did. They got 2 huge picks off the back of a nice swing there by Rexon and great target identification by the intel game there. So eUnited up another round after what seemed to be a failed attempt to get control of Cafe, but turned into a great execute into initiation, eventually getting that plant down inside a daycare.
All right, round number 4 coming up here, folks. Another changeup on the site selection from Disrupt. You're going to see them work their way over here towards the lab now, playing into the other downstairs site. Mind you, of course, they still have control over Throne, and that is still locked away for play. So they'll be able to use that one again if they want to go back to it on the next round, not this one. That's a preset drone there from Grixer. Alfama's also going to be able to get some intel for himself to play off of, and away from that, eUnited just getting themselves ready for the eventual execute. Now, this is a very laborious attacker execute that has to be played here. A lot of clearing that needs to be done, so eUnited will more than likely want to waste no time with that, because they'll more than likely need the full 3 minutes to get themselves into one of those 2 sites.
Yeah, this is a pretty tough cookie to crack. We've seen many a man attempt to try and get through this setup, but it's never fun for anyone. It's mostly based off of the early picks, and if you can have a large impact either on the site players or on this roam game, so you're able to actually get a constriction around that site and cut off those rotations. Might have the first pick here, and that's exactly what it's going to be. NJR, the rookie, steps up to Rexon, but Rexon's just that much better. 5-0-2 right now, making a huge impact so far here on Theme Park, and this is just the beginning of the series. We're only 3 rounds in.
Rexon continuing his dominance, notably on those Cafe entries. Last round, of course, he got the double from a very similar position as he swung out towards Yellow Hall and was able to find a double back in round number 3. But this time starts it out with just the one. All he's really presented, though, so you can't fault him for getting more at this point. And away from that, United taking a little bit of a pause here, but still moving very swiftly, at least through the second floor, to clear out the remaining, if any, roam presence here from Disrupt before starting to contemplate how exactly they're going to move their team down to the first floor and, of course, into the 2 sites.
At this rate, Rexon could be ending up with a KPR over 1.0. I mean, he's at it right now, but at this rate, it could be something astounding once we're all said and done here on Theme Park. Disrupt doing a very good job of staying patient to see how eUnited are going to go about this attack, but eUnited being very respectful of what's going on inside of Throne Room, cognizant of the situation and how they need to handle it. Vertical play going down into the lab area now to see if there's anyone set up in improper corners, but all of DG laying back. Patience once again here from Disrupt, just waiting for eUnited to try and hop down and hop 2. eUnited, though, once again, leaning on this drone game. The info game's been very strong for them, and they're not afraid to try and use these drones early on for that intel. Might have a nice pick here onto J9 as they now have recognized he's inside of barrels. He has a chance to get out, but getting lit up from the staircase, and a very nice shot onto Rexon with the pre-fire. They're going to have to try and deal with him through some other means. Nice gunfight back and forth with Kansan, but wins it out through that vertical play.
Good attempts from J9, of course, to stay in control of that situation. At least he's able to guarantee a 1-for-1, but unfortunately, with the loss of Malusi that happened earlier, it doesn't mean much. That one could mean something, though. Reed able to chain 2 together, tries to make it 3, but not going to happen. Thankfully, Retro is right nearby to make it happen for his team, and now everything falls to Yeti to clutch this one out. He tries to do it with a pistol, but Retro shuts him down with the M590 from the corner of the site. Disrupt answer back yet again, so far controlling quite a few of these downstairs holds as they're going to lock away the lab and take a second round here on their defense.
That was a very, very, very stalled eUnited. They got top control, but they didn't do anything with it. No real picks came from it. They really didn't even use any utility anywhere to burn through things. They were just hoping that the picks would come to them from DG messing up, and they didn't. We had some very nice gunfights inside of barrels, but it mostly leaned to DG's side. When it came to the site execute, it was a pure funnel through the lab double door, and that was all she wrote. eUnited kind of just sat upstairs on drones, murdered all of their drones, and then tried to force it onto site. Disrupt is a much better team than that to allow that to happen. So very nice defense there by Disrupt. Great patience by them as well, and that's what you have to have inside of those situations. When the offense is taking a long time, it's mostly because you're doing your job right, or maybe something has messed up, somebody didn't bring the right utility, yada, yada, yada. There's a million different things, but you need to lean on that. You need to be patient, wait for them to do something, because you're not the offense, you're the defense. Disrupt playing defense great on that one.
Quite a nice variety of attacks we've seen so far here from eUnited. And you know what else there's a nice new variety of? Skins in the Rainbow Six store.
You don't say.
Don't forget to purchase your favorite Pro League bundles, which will directly support Rainbow Six Esports and all of your favorite teams. Go ahead, check them out in the shop now. They're all there, and they're all very pretty.
Guys, I got something to admit. I was gold 2 at the beginning of this season, not because I placed there, but because I lost all the way there. I lost all the way there, John. I did it. What's funny is my main account gold 2, Smurfs, Plat 2, and Plat 2 again. I suck on my main account. I don't know what happened, but good news, bought those skins. We're back up in Plat 2, baby. Let's go. That's how you see. If you spend money on the game, it just loves you even more. There you go. Just throw your wallet at it, and you'll get elo.
We'll move through into the next round here. Once again, United looking for a good entry point here. Rexon, of course, is ready to roll into Cafe. No surprises there. That's been his battlegrounds for the entire half so far. But away from that, everybody else still kind of struggling a little bit to look for an entry point here. You can see Kansas taking a little bit of damage too, so they're a little bit nervous right now about what DG might have in store for them upon their initial entries into quite a few of these points on the map. Away from that, Rexon still feels like he might be up for the challenge. He's sitting right by the arcade window. Shuttle, I believe he's also played this position once before. If not him, it was definitely NJR doing it a few rounds back. United's going to be very aware of this position. It's just the matter of whether they want to challenge it or not. And there it is! Rexon, actually kind of surprising me a little bit there with the timing, leaps right into the arcade window, and Shuttle is not prepared in any means. Gets shut down there pretty quickly. And United, once again, take the opening 5v4 advantage.
That was very well done by eUnited on the timing there with the drone. I don't know if they exactly hopped to mask the sound cue of the guy coming in the window, but if they did, overall that was insane to see. A very nice pinch there, and great stuff by Rexon as per usual. It's exactly what we expect out of him. He very rarely loses his 1v1 situations. DG still on the roam upstairs though, their last safe haven inside of Cash. Softball here for J9 with the punch hole, but that punch hole now gone. It's been completely obliterated by some bullets passing through it. They need to be able to hold on here and time eUnited out as long as possible. It's all up to NJR. He picks up 2 big kills. Oh my, Rexon, you're going to sleep, my friend. Grixer with the refrag though, able to pick up the diffuser. Now into the 3 versus 2, as we still have plenty of time for them to get this execute down.
Great aim by NJR. The only way he gets both of those kills is if they are headshots, and he hits that second one pretty much immediately. Beautiful stuff by him. He's unable to chain the third together, of course. A little bit too much heat on him at that point. But regardless, it's now put DG into a much better situation here. A 2v3, which we've already seen them control one of those previously. Now it's time to do it once again. It's on the throne defense too, so this is winnable. Just up DG's 2 remaining players now to get it done. Retro and Reed, who've already shown up clutch in late round situations before. Time for him to do it again. Kansas with the initial pick, though, makes very quick work of Reed, knocks him out without a second thought. The rest of the team got to be right up past the yellow barricade there. Still trying to work to get that wall open. They should be able to do it. And now, with it open, they're going to be able to work their way in for the plant, which Yeti's going for right now. Retro, unfortunately, no positioning to stop this. He's got to be cautious of the barrel's position, too, as there is some Maverick work on that wall. But ultimately, he's going to get shut down by Yeti when he swings out from that reinforced shield. And United will take round number 5.
eUnited not slowing down at all on any of the fronts that we've seen them fix in these last couple of weeks. Everything looks right as rain on this offense right now. Excited to see how they handle things on defense, but I do have to commend Disrupt here as well. Obviously, the offense on Theme Park, not the most fun thing in the world when it comes to that and trying to win rounds, but that doesn't mean that Disrupt hasn't done their job well. Picking up 2 rounds here, almost able to make it 3-3. Granted, the offense is at a hindrance here, but still, DG staying inside of the fight. That's exactly what we want from them. That's progress. We don't want to see anybody getting stomped on. So nice to see them picking it up when it comes to this defense so far. We'll see how they impacted the offense after this round. For the very last round of their defensive half, though, we're headed to Bunk and Daycare. See if they can make this 3-3 split.
Did see a 6 pick there from Disrupt. Probably not going to affect much at the end of the day, though. It was bait from the Clash. It's flipped over, in Reed's case, over to the Castle. There is a massive abundance of self-destruction on the eUnited roster right now, so I don't think Castle's going to be much of a concern for them. It's more just about, I think it allows for possibly a few safer angles for DG to play off of here until, of course, those barricades are eventually disrupted by one of the 3 operators that's going to be able to do that.
Right, well,
Attackers are moving out to
Disrupt
locate a bomb.
setting things up very similar to what they had last time. Going to be a lot of gear coming from that east side. I believe United's going to be setting up for that as well, as we don't see a single person spawning over near Cafe. I have an early kill here from Retro, as he's currently laying down inside of the cache door, facing outside onto the balcony. He's going to get a free drone for his troubles, though, and hey, that could have a little bit more impact on the round than, you would initially think, so...
His plans are dashed. Ruined. It was all set up for that. I was set up for that. I was ready for that early pick on an unsuspecting repeller, but didn't end up happening there, as the drone pretty swiftly denies his chances of trying to stick around there and pick one up. Like Stokes said, though, it does take out some early intel and makes the intel gathering process a little bit more cumbersome here for eUnited. Away from that, though, DG and Retro both playing the upstairs angles. Yeti already in on the top of Dragon Stairs, and he's not alone in this position either. Pretty much everybody from eUnited has already flooded their way in onto this side of the map. I'm working very hard on those drones to see where exactly any of the advanced positioning from DG is. Quite a few of those players actually falling back after getting spotted by drones, so the drone work actually impacting quite a bit here for eUnited.
Well, multiple angles still being held here for DG as eUnited begins their clear. Lots
nice.
of damage on to Yeti by a hell of an angle here from NJR through both double doors. More stun grenades pouring in now to make sure that all of this is burned, as Yeti's going to burn one of his frag grenades as well. Likely trying to get rid of some stuff inside of waiting room. Good progress here by eUnited, but that amount of damage onto Yeti could cause some big problems here for eUnited if he gets taken out trying to torch something open. But more than likely not going to be the case, as we hear that ace utility going off in the distance.
That's one thing I've noticed so far with DG's defense, is they are constantly playing on these really annoying angles. And that could explain some of the delay we've seen on a few of eUnited's attacks, is that they're trying to figure out exactly what the setup looks like, so they don't end up walking into one of these one-ways or just one of these pixel angles that I've seen DG trying to sit on quite a few times throughout this half. Away from that, though, got quite a few members of eUnited still in control, looking to get that wall open or just gain intel about what's on the other side. Kansas is going to slap it open, and well, J9 seems to be ready for the challenge. He's going to be able to fend off Yeti on the initial swing. Can't get it done for Kansan, though, on the repeat. Rexon also is going to have success as he takes out Reed, bringing this down to a 4v3. Plant attempt also being made right now here by Alfama. Nitro cell going in, but it's shot out mid-air, so the plant will go down. Shuttle will take out Kansan and push that advantage even further now that he finds Alfama. Leaving the bomb a little bit exposed here. Crosshair placement again from NJR, just a little bit off the mark on his WASD keys, so he's not going to be able to pick up that next kill onto the player just around the corner in control, but he does start to move back into the site. Get control over the diffuser once again. Retro with the next pickup here leaves it all alone on Rexon. This is by far one of the most impactful players we've seen so far in this match. He's going to be able to take out the first player, interrupts the second one in the middle of the counter defuse, just needs one more, but he can't get it done. Shuttle saves the day at the very last player for Disrupt, and they will take control over round number 6, giving them a 3-3 scoreline at halftime.
Rexon proving time and time again exactly why this man collects a paycheck playing this game. I mean, God bless, what a round from him. And John, he swung in the break window. That's how he got in there initially. He swung in the window and just shot the castle in the back of the head. The guy was on on his camera inside of break room, and he just swings in and gets a triple kill.
Nice.
I mean, Disrupt right now. I mean, they're able to battle back up against EU. I mean, it's 3-3 right now, but Rexon is trying his damnedest to make sure that this goes their way. eUnited switching over to defense now after 3 plants going down on their offensive side.
All right, guys. Sides have flipped. Now time to see what Disrupt's attack looks like, since obviously it's been a little bit since we've had an opportunity to take a peek at that, and we're going to get our first glance now on Theme Park. 6-pick also used by them once again. They're going to quick switch out the Maverick over towards a Thermite, if I saw that correctly, and indeed I did. So bringing a little bit more traditional hard breach here on Retro, as he's also going to, of course, fulfill the usual duties that come with that operator pick.
That was a really, really smart 6 pick. So what they did is they initially brought the Maverick just to show that, hey, any of the wall denial that you use is not going to work. You might want to nudge, click, click, 6 pick off of that, get rid of it. And then they 6 pick away and picked up the thermite. That way they can just open the walls and you have a really big trucking hole coming right up, that kind of stuff. So very smart play here by Disrupt. Just know that eUnited probably not going to try and grab some wall denial when they see the Maverick. So just, very good chess game there. Mental chess from DG.
Of course, no wall denial in the picture for eUnited regardless here, most importantly because of the fact that we did end up seeing Mute get banned out on this map here. So a lot of that passive wall denial that I at least have often seen used on this map, just not really going to be prevalent. You need to bring a bandit or, of course, the Kaid able to accomplish that task. Away from that discussion, we've got Disrupt spawned once again. Quite a few players working their way over to the Dragon Stairs, as you would normally expect on an attack like this, but we've also got 1 to 2 over on Cafe side too. J90 and Reed looking for options on that department if they will be presented to them. Alfama holding on an extended room downstairs. We've often seen this room to the inside of Lab and the connecting room next to it there work pretty well in delaying teams up to the very end of the round. In some circumstances, not even giving them the opportunity to attack into the actual site over by Throne. So this is a tried and true method here for eUnited to try and waste some time at a minimum and maybe just completely stop most of the momentum here from Disrupt.
Very strange setup here from eUnited. I like what I'm seeing, though. They're holding down the entire west side of the map, as well as they have a rotate hole inside of barrels, if you guys didn't see that. This entire area that Grix are standing in is free real estate if anybody gets inside of it, but eUnited is set up around that in order to slow down Disrupt if they do try to go for an offense through this means. They really want them to try and attack through maintenance, and that's what this entire setup is primed for. They really have a lot of traps and other things centralized around slowing them down if they do try to mess with the plans at all. That's exactly why they got Kansan as well as the Banshees from Grixer set up. And right now, DG stumped, and you can't blame them. And there's a lot of very awkward things going on that people aren't used to.
As I said, a great method to waste time, especially to the degree which eUnited is using it currently here. So a lot of drone work there from Disrupt, but Shuttle is going to feel a necessity now to hop in, because it's not just him in position, but he also has a few other teammates further into the map at this point. They're going to be able to get the connector hatch, the split hatch, excuse me, and open that one up for their team to be able to utilize here and hopefully start to put some pressure on the actual throne room itself. And they need to do that, of course, as we're down to 50 seconds now and pretty much 0 damage has been done. That's going to change, though. Retro getting himself a nice opportunity to frag out against Yeti will take him out of the picture, bringing this down to a 5v4. DG going to move further from that, more than likely starting to swing over towards lower arcade, and the rest of Lab be able to take that control away from eUnited.
Rexon being so smart on this roam game right now. He knows that he has every DG member around him focusing down on his position, and he's wasted so much time swinging into the Lab double, but backs up inside of storage instead, taken down by J9, just not respecting the angle that had been created by eUnited there. J9 now has pressure inside a split, but they still have a lot of EU members on site. Retro starts off the picks, though. Almost able to get the Malusi at the back of sight, but eUnited racking up the scoreboard right now. Shuttle finally able to take down Alfama, and DG walk away with the round after a nice execute onto the yellow stairs.
Interesting strategy to be sure from eUnited, and definitely caused some delay, especially in the early and mid portions of the round there when Disrupt was trying to figure out how exactly to tear that apart. But we saw quite a few players from eUnited there towards the end, especially the second one that ended up going down there, potentially commit to fights that ends up losing them control over parts of the map. And as a result of that, the players on site, due to some of the soft destruction which have been left open there, do not have the capability they need to shut that down in the late round. And as a result of that, DG take control of their opening attacking round. Also take the lead on the overall map right now at 4-3. Site selection here from the folks on eUnited. Well, they're going to change things up a little bit, and they'll head upstairs. Not necessarily feeling a repeat down in Throne Room just as of yet.
Yeah, it just felt a bit awkward for everyone there. Even the defense at some points, it felt awkward. For instance, Rexon stepping into the single panel for, storage and not realizing that there's a gaping hole in it that he can be shot through. Stuff like that where, it doesn't seem that it's been ran a lot, and there's little mistakes that are being made. The main thing for eUnited and why that didn't work is they just didn't have the picks. There was no early picks or even in the mid game really any picks that happened to influence that round for them. It was more or less just slowly giving up map control, wasting a lot of time in the process, but they weren't able to get the things that really mattered, which was getting that utility off the board by killing people. So DG overall just able to flood site, especially after that pick onto Yeti. They had Rex in lockdown inside of lab. There was really nowhere that he was going. They just had to worry about what was going on site. And with that messed up back area obviously leading into barrels, it was quite easy when it came down to just having man advantage.
DG out on the board once again here. A few of their players working their way over, actually over towards cafe side mainly is what appears to be the plan. Don't know exactly where they're moving in. Looks like they're already working their way over towards cafe side right now to start off this attack, or at least as kind of a starting half of the map to work through here. It's definitely a bit more diverse than just the one room that they're pushing in. You can see Retro looking to drone out break right now. Hansen trying to pay attention to some of that intel and see if he can take it out. He'll probably accomplish that as we did switch away from him, but there'll be a drone down off of his camera. Retro, though, right at the window at break. Seems like he's kind of ready to go for it, but that would be a bold move to say the least. More than likely not going to see that happen.
Yeah, he's breakdancing on the window there for just a second. Continues to pre-fire through the single panel as well, but could beg Kansan to kill if he's able to follow those tracers thoroughly. Good drone game here from DG, and it is looking like they are just going to wrap around the site from this western side, but Yeti with a big pick, and I believe that was a one tap as well. Just slept J9 outside. Kansan taking a little bit of damage as well, but still have to worry about this angle here from Yeti, trying to pick him up once again. No damage dealt to the sledge of Shuttle, but delaying quite a bit of time for sure.
Rexon finds the second one now as he's able to dispatch a Reed, taking out the Capitao and all the utility that would normally come with him as well. A major loss in the utility game for Disrupt for the rest of this round. That's not going to be made up by any of the three remaining operators here. That's just soft destruction and the obvious addition of Retro, of course, for the hard breach, if they do want to use that or if they can even get to that point in the round at this point. Yeti still tapping away with this tiny angle that he's created for himself here on the Wamai, and Disrupt deciding that they just really can't get past that. They're going to be shifting positions. NJR is still kind of feeling the challenge. He might be going over towards arcade window, but the Wamai very much ready for that switch up if it does happen. Yeti will be prepared for that. Oh my goodness. Grixer just dropping down the hatch ever so casually to say hello and goodbye to Shuttle. Retro will get a trade taking out Grixer, but it's a small gesture at this point. We're down to a 2v4, and there's only 35 seconds left. NJR is still yet to enter the building here outside of the arcade window.
Yeah, I don't think that one was written up inside of the playbook, but what I can tell you is that position from Yeti right now making the biggest impact on this round. They cannot burrow him out of this bunker they've created with that pixel angle and the shield. It's all left up to Retro and NJR now with very minimal time trying to get inside. Some splash damage onto the shield, finally breaks it, but it's going to be too little too late, NJR. You got a lot of killing to do, my friend. Can he possibly get it done? Running in through Cafe, looking for the gunfight on top yellow, but he is getting frozen in place by that clash. Retro with a very nice kill into Rex, and as he fights his way into daycare, he's the only man left alive. He can't even get the participation kill. eUnited claim round 8.
A little bit of thermite fragging there from Retro, but all for naught. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, there was time just ends up running out. Mainly, as you had mentioned there, due to the fact they really couldn't get past Yeti. They could never get Cafe or Arcade access due to his position. And we never really saw Disrupt ever able to get into any other strong positions besides that. So we saw them slowly getting shut down one by one throughout the course of it, as they just had to try and take control at some points on the map, some sort of segment, something they could work towards, and they never really found a good initiation point. So that's going to be another one going into the hands of eUnited, and a quickly retying of the match, the scoreline of 4-4. They're now going to look to take control at 5-4, of course, if they can win this initiation and office defense.
Yeah, slightly discombobulated offense there by DG, and really that leans just on pure utility usage. I mean, the hard thing is I don't enjoy being hard on teams and trying to hold people accountable because you never know what's going through their head in those instances. But Disrupt, you guys have the utility to clear that shield. You didn't even have to throw a stun grenade. You literally just had to shoot the breaching round at the floor and have the splash damage get rid of the shield, which is exactly what we saw NJR do. That's why I'm pointing it out, is because you can tell that some things are just not really working, and whether it be comms or what have you, but things are not being taken care of inside of these instances. It's a very simple thing. Hey, they have a shield here. There's two ADSs. Hey, Ash, can you please come get this shield? And then NJR comes and does it. It's just kind of a, a disconnect there right now. Is just made for a very awkward round for their offense.
Time to see if Disrupt can improve that performance here. Already seen some success from them on the attack. Just about whether they can bring it back under their control now for the initiation hold. Disrupt, a lot of pressure going to work its way over towards Dragon's side initially. And we do have United setting up for the usual roam to head up against that. Yeti, of course, watching the control door. Alfama playing from inside of the vault, trying to watch for any swings through cash to the inside of the bathrooms upstairs there. No actual resistance on the control room and cache itself, though, so Disrupt's going to be able to get that control for free at the start of this round. NJR, in fact, really thriving in that, moving all the way through into showers right off the bat here, and now setting himself up on an angle in the event United rotate anyone back over towards that side of the map. We're going to see a kind of pocket shield thrown out here, too, so that Alfama can continue to hold this position, despite the fact that NJR already has control over it.
Oh, eUnited. Oh, no. Big pick early on for J9 as Yeti goes down. Nitro Cell off the board, but the Banshee's still good as new, even as Yeti's corpse lays on the floor. DG now making some good progress. Really, that early pick is the thing they need as the signal to start moving through and burning a lot of this utility. Already burning the ADSs on initiation is going to leave Kansan in some hot water here. More than likely, some gunfights going to ensue as well, as they need to hold off this position as well as the office. Frag grenades in now as Kansan's going to get lit just a touch, but they still have to wait for DG to fight forward.
Kansan, of course, being very cautious as he falls back. About what might be peeking through that control angle if he wasn't watching it. But in the meantime, the wall towards control into initiation is going to get popped open. Either Thermite or Retro will be able to give the team a much better angle to play off of here. United definitely being pushed into a slight corner here, but by their own design to a certain extent here. We now need to be able to impact when it matters if we do end up seeing the follow-through push from Disrupt to the inside of initiation, which is really what we're waiting for right now, waiting for Disrupt to complete the challenge. It does look like they are at least going to have their Ash try to work their way through showers as well, though that'll be shut down quickly here by Rexon, who continues to hold that angle. No success on the showers push. Everything's going to have to come more than likely from that control angle, unless anyone else rotates over towards that other side. Continuing to see the timer tick down. Some success there. A shuttle picks up Brixer. Shuttle is going to take a bit of a response damage, but now Retro moving in while the plant attempt trying to be made, but Smoke denies that very quickly. Knows exactly where the breach is and does have quick denial on it as a result of that. Retro still waiting for an opportunity to push forward, but he's now going to get picked by Rex, and Alfama swings in here to get a piece of the action too. He drops out Reed. Kansan's able to finish off Shuttle after he'd been down previously. It's all on J90. He's got less than a quarter of his HP remaining here. Tries to get back into the site, but Rexon says no, as I believe he gets his third kill on the round right there, and United take swift control over round number 9.
This right here is just the difficulty of theme park, as I stutter my way through my sentence. But this right here is just the difficulty of theme park. You can see that Disrupt got control of initiation, at least for the most part, in order to try and put a diffuser down, right? But the pressure from the other side of the map that they were exerting onto Office didn't work out. And you might be wondering why that's a big piece of this. Well, it allows Alfama to exist inside of Waiting Room, as well as hold cross angles from Office to stop a lot of this pressure from going any deeper than the breach. Mix that with Rexon on an absolute bloodthirsty rampage with a 1.5 scope, and you're in for a pretty bad time. Continually getting not only picked off, but damage dealt. You're low on, your utility for execute. There's a bunch of things now going wrong. And then you have a Smoke that's now smoking off your breach, as well as swinging with M590s and everything else in between. eUnited looking very strong in these defenses. DG just not able to get the ball rolling here.
Unfortunately for DG, they are running out of opportunities to start rolling that ball down the hill. United now just 2 more rounds away from closing out. The good news for Disrupt is they are only 1 round behind. They have kept this race relatively close throughout the course of the map, so I would expect them to try and pick up at least 1 to 2 more here instead of just giving up against United on this map. Should be noted, of course, this is eUnited's map pick. They've chosen to go into this one. They don't have any official history on this one. It's been banned out by their opponents quite a few times. Disrupt has played this map, but unfortunately does not have the greatest record, as they have an 0-3 run in recent months here. Rounds begun, though. Let's take a look at where Disrupt is going to look to take their initial control, and it does appear, at least off the spawns, that we're going to see quite a bit towards Dragon's side yet again.
Oh, many layers here for eUnited. We're going to have a roam game upstairs. They've also reinforced off both of the single panels for yellow scaffolding, so you can no longer get into cafe or the vault for office here. More than likely just going to slow down any rotations for that long angle. They don't want someone to get cafe control or get office control and hold where Rexon is. They'd much rather have him play it for that long angle down yellow, or down the hallway at least. First explosion going to go off on site here, and it's actually going to be Retro blowing open the throne wall. Kansan going to be the first point of contact inside of Split. Let's see how long they can hold off on what seems to be a horizontal take for the time being.
Some interesting rotates there for them to work off of as well. We just saw from the perspective of Kansan trying to work his way back over into barrels, so this could potentially trip DG up if they're not expecting it. And meanwhile, DG have taken that dragon control that I was talking about before, working on droning their way through the throne room before they take anything else. Rexon also working here with his other teammate to try and make sure that that throne room control stays under the control of United in the event Disrupt try to swing through, which we're now seeing now. It's an easy one for Rexon. Retro just crawls right into his angle. The good news, though, is that MJR's position on the inside of lockers is set up perfectly to trade that when Rexon attempts to fall back.
And the scary thing is, though, is that he'd more than likely take that trade any day of the week. That's a thermite off the board. No more hard destruction for the offense. Capitao bringing the Claymore, so don't have to worry about that secondary utility. Disrupt now have control of Throne, but mainly focused on this horizontal offense right now, as eUnited still has that vertical control, which means they can stop a plant through this vertical play if need be. They just need the angles. Kansan getting lit up quite a bit as it's a peek from Split. They now know how far DG have progressed through the map. And with a minute left, DG actually in a pretty good spot, even though that thermite is gone.
There's still the upstairs players that are yet to be dealt with here. That's going to be an interesting wrinkle as we get later into the round. But Shuttle also continues to push the advantage further here from DG as he's able to take out Grixer, eliminating him. Yeti's still holding the top balcony and is looking to try and resist, but the downstairs hold is falling to pieces right now. Reed taking out Kansan there. Yeti thankfully able to trade, but he also cannot find any safe harbor and is quickly dispatched of by J9. Oh, another trade now as Alfama takes out J9. Alfama's going to try to push the advantage even further. Knows he can lurk his way through the smokes. It's the last man standing in a 1v2. 20 seconds remaining. Does get some spray against him there. And on the last bullet, unfortunately, ran out of ammo after downing the first player and does not have enough left over to take out the second. Very close to the clutch there, but unfortunately not close enough as DG take control of this round here.
Oh, that one just hurts. That one just hurts. If he had the M590, he kills both of them. That's just very unfortunate there for Alfama. Not on the top end of that SMG-11 magazine. Just didn't have enough bullets to clutch that. But either way, nicely done there by Disrupt, handling the roam game in a kind of a haphazard way. They more or less just went at the roamers downstairs first, got control of the throne room area, and then just sent Shuttle upstairs all on his lonesome to handle the vertical play. Yeti eventually jumps down after getting a pick, gets refragged though, and now they have site control. All they have to worry about is the smoke, which everyone saw what happened with Alfama. eUnited, very nice defense there. It was just really down to Disrupt with the power that they were able to, well, not really the power, but the trade ability that they have downstairs inside of Throne Room that won them that round. After that, eUnited just could not stop peeking those pesky angles, and DG winning most of their gunfights.
So, eUnited once again at risk of losing their lead here. DG have tied it up. They're going to look to push the advantage into their favor on map point as well. Also do it against the throne room defense, of course, which is the go-to for quite a few of our defending teams. United looking to try and secure the deal here and push themselves also up onto map point on their own map pick. Disrupt, of course, making that task a little bit more difficult, as they've been keeping a very, very close contention throughout the course of this first map in the series. Keep in mind, folks, of course, this is only the first map in the series. We've got at least one more coming up after this, maybe two. Second map will be Villa. That'll be Disrupt's map pick. And we'll go to Clubhouse if we need our third map for the decider. DG's out and about. Of course, let's take a look upstairs and see what eUnited is going to be working with on the roam game. Fairly standard in this respect. You've got Yeti with a little bit more of a forward position in showers, but he's not going to stick around for very long. You just saw, I think, a couple shots rang out from him before he's fallen back now to the further of the two sites. If you're looking at an east to west clear, as he holds control of the bunks, arcades, and cafe area here. Him, Rexon, and one more player from eUnited are going to look to try and hold that.
eUnited wants to get very aggressive early on here as Kansan hops out off of an impact, apparently not thinking that J9 would be ready, but he surely was. It looked more or less like Kansan was the one that was not ready there. J9 getting one for his pleasure and then backs off. That's a very early kill onto this roam game for eUnited, as they're mostly focused on what J9 is doing. Still worried about this balcony, as the rest of Disrupt making very good progress clearing east to west right now upstairs. Already all the way up inside of waiting. We have drones spinning around inside of daycare and bunk as well. They know where Rexon is, but honestly, what is that good for? Especially with Grixer making flanks like that. It gets a refrag though, as NJR picks up another one as well. He takes down Grixer off the back of Reed getting a kill. Alfama and Rexon, the only two remaining eUnited members, but that doesn't mean it can't get done. When Rexon's shooting straight, this man is absolutely lethal. That's going to be his 16th kill here inside of round 11, showing DG how it's done. Still clutchable, as he is still upstairs inside of break.
And Jared knows where exactly he can look to find Rexon around the corner here from waiting room. He doesn't feel the need to try and swing it, especially when he's already at low HP. It's not the same for his opponent. Gets an opportunity, though, after actually throwing the flashbang with some poor timing, and is still able to win out the fight against Rexon, taking him down with just a sliver of HP remaining. It's all up to Alfama yet again here in a 1v3 scenario. He's going to try to go out and about once more here, hoping to catch DG, and they're not expecting him to play aggressively. 50 seconds left. DG still roaming around upstairs for the most part here, droning out the site, and of course, more than likely realizing that Alfama's not here, guys. We need to be very careful with this. Alfama also needs to be very careful so as to not be spotted by one of these drones. He more than likely was assuming they would have already tried to go for the execute. Finds one player, but does not expect NJR to be right behind Reed. And as a result of that, he'll only be able to translate it into a 1-for-1. Disrupt get themselves up onto map point first, and are now only one away from putting themselves ahead in the series.
A lot of new things being shown by eUnited inside of this series, but all of them being stopped by Disrupt. I mean, this Disrupt is looking very, very good. The patience is there. They're playing things out properly, even down into the 3 versus 1, where it's like, hey, it's the last guy. We can just flood site, possibly kill him, do something like that. That's not the play that you want at all. You want to be able to drone out the site, see where that last member is, and go about things in the proper way. Trying to get that diffuser down is usually the proper thing. Objective play wins you games. But for eUnited, some very unorthodox things. I'm liking what I'm seeing, especially with Alfama just not sitting on site. He knows it's a 1 versus 3. You have to do something and be proactive instead of reactive inside of those situations. Some good stuff on his end, but that does not mean that Disrupt is not just fundamentally playing some really dang good Siege right now.
So for Disrupt, as long as they can keep control over their attacks, they'll be on a good path to take down eUnited here and give themselves their first win on this map as far as recent records are concerned. And I think eUnited does not look that great for this only being the first time that they were able to play it. eUnited, of course, though, has already responded to 1 rounds from Disrupt more than 1 time over the course of this map. So it's definitely not a 1 map as of yet here for Disrupt. eUnited still has plenty of opportunities to swing this back under their control, but they want to win this map. They now need to do it in overtime, as it would only tie them up at 6-6 and take us to those pivotal 3 rounds to decide the map. Disrupt split spawn this time, as we're going to see players coming in from all spawns on the map here, where they eventually start working to put some pressure inside of the sites themselves. Most notably, you'll see the Zofia going up towards the break room window again. We've got a few players working their way over on Cafe side, and I assume at least 1 to 2 are also going to try to take Dragon side too.
Well, it seems as though we've got the Yeti shield set up again here on Cafe, so more than likely not going to be too fun to deal with, but we've also got some friends in tow with them on eUnited. That could make things even more difficult. We got a Mira coming along for the right, as well as the Clash being manned by Alfama. Grixer, Rexon, and Yeti on those big guns here. See if they can have a big impact on this round, especially with Yeti and how influential he was here the last time.
Yeti waiting for the swing. Got the angle set up for him to play off of once again. It's definitely not as tight as we saw before here, but he's going to have to fall back regardless, as the shield will get dealt with very, very quickly here. He's now going to actually rotate all the way back to the inside of office. No safe harbor remains anymore on that hallway. The good news is they have a clash, so the lack of his position there can be made up for very easily if they decide to rotate Alfama into that spot. Alfama's got to watch quite a bit himself, though. He's also very responsible for the control over Arcade where you can see two members of Disrupt kind of actively challenging the window and looking for a route in, but having to be very careful. They know there's support sitting right behind the Clash, and I think NJR already proved himself to be a slight victim of that. He's down at under 25. Reed also going to take some heat here, but he responds, gets his own kill. Unfortunately, NJR ends up going down somehow. Not exactly sure how that happened. The good news, though, is Reed is keeping up for the team here as he finds another pick against Rexon. Retro is also down here for Disrupts. They need to be careful of that and try to get him up if possible, which looks like it is based on his position that he's downed at.
They are going to have plenty of time on the board as well to try and get an execute to go off on site, but they do have a lot of utility to go through, specifically Alfama, which is exactly why they brought this Clash. They knew that DG was more than likely going to fix what was going on inside of Cafe with that shield and ADS setup, so they added another layer here by bringing that Clash to slow down DG even more. Alfama needs to have a heavy influence here in these last 40 seconds if eUnited wants to push this to overtime. We still have Grixer with 2 smokes in his pocket as well, which could definitely change things up. Mostly Windows Repel right now for DG as they're trying to work their way back into the building. Also working on the hatch as it's mostly centralized around Cafe. Alfama taking quite a bit of damage, but the execute has to be now. We need these big kills right now. eUnited finally falling after Kansan picks up J9. Grixer with the refrag, though, down into the 2 versus 2. Not ready for the Clash to have the pistol out, but he's going to do quite a bit of damage here to Alfama as Alfama pushes up Arcade Balcony. Shield back out now as, oh no, Capital, you've been caught. Everyone's been slowed down. He's got a plant. He's been downed, and he's gotten off of it. eUnited pushes to overtime after some low HP on the sledge. Goes away, he gets downed, and Reed has no chance in hell in putting that diffuser down.
United very much playing the chess game there of Siege to try and win it out on the timer, and they do that with flying colors in the 2v2. Obviously, things looking a little bit dodgy for themselves. They use the Clash to stop any potential for the plant going down. And as a result of that, eUnited are going to be able to tie it up at 6-6, triggering overtime and activating 3 additional rounds to decide the winner of this map. It's going to be United starting out on defense. Disrupt will go on to the attack, but the teams will switch every single round. And we're going to go right back to Bunk here for eUnited's first defensive round in this OT.
Well, they showed the Clash and the Mozzie, but switched back to the Wamai. Looks like it's going to be the same setup here for the third time. See if Disrupt can go about things in similar fashion. They're so close. They are knocking on the door of getting through this site setup, John. But every single time that they get to the end, it's always the extra layer that eUnited has added that DG gets stumped by. That time it was the Clash. The previous time it was the Wamai shield setup. What's it going to be this time? That's the true question. Are the mirrors going to play a role in this? Is there going to be some more smoke grenades by Grixer that could possibly get a pick? DG has to tighten things up around the edges to get this diffuser down. It just seems like it's so close every single time.
The setup could end up making the difference once again, of course, as well here. If eUnited's able to close out this round, push them up to 7, and they find success on their attacks, just like we had seen back in regulation, then eUnited, of course, will be able to sweep through with an 8-6 scoreline. DG very much needs to be ready for this attack. This is a very pivotal round. They need to be extremely careful of how they approach it. Let's take a look and see how exactly that approach is going to be brought to the table. A few players coming out from bumper cars, more than likely, meaning we've got some players opting to try and take Dragon Control. You'll also note a bit of a switch up too is that Retro is now over on the Ace, where we were seeing him play the Thermite quite a bit back in regulation time, so we could see a little bit of a change up in the overall strategy coming from that too. That could just be because Retro, to be honest, has been doing a pretty good job on the fragging perspective too, so giving him the AK is not necessarily a bad idea at this point in the game.
You pulled the words right out of my mouth. Put a gun in this man's hand, John.
I was kind of like thinking about the rationalization for that, and then just hit me like, oh yeah, he's been getting frags with the 5.56. Just give him the AK and make that job a lot easier.
Yeah, I'll give you some rationality. AK go burr. That's what it does, man. It's a great gun, one of the best ARs in the entire game, and now on an extremely influential operator like Ace, you might as well give your hard breach that. Should make for some good fun here. But eUnited has already set up for this this East take here. It was premeditated. They reinforced everything as well, set up Clash and everybody else for the most part utility-wise on this side. So United ready for DG's change up here, but is DG ready to try and battle back through this? A lot of damage dealt to Alfama from that AK-12. That's exactly why you bring that weaponry.
Not enough as of yet, though. Alfama's still kicking with 50 HP remaining. For DG, they're no longer going to get an opportunity to take her out. Oh, maybe, hold on, I'll take my words back for a second there. Alfama is shifting back against those angles, so still a possibility that he could get shuffled out of this position, or possibly more importantly, taken down if the utility is thrown in correctly against that operator. Yeti, of course, still looking for any one-tap headshots he might be able to get off from the yellow hallway here, but gonna have some trouble elsewhere on the map as Rexon takes quite a bit of heat. He's brought down to under 25. C9 trying to still rotate over towards control, trying to potentially finish things off, and Retro also pushing forward here. Trying to solidify the advantage by hopefully taking out one of the members of eUnited. They've gotten so close on quite a few of them, but they haven't been able to actually get the frag yet. There you go. There's a good chance. I was about to say, you better get that one.
Ooh, very unlucky there as Yeti tries to get in behind his Clash, but he's immediately taken down. That 4-2-10 scoreline stuck until our very next round. 40 seconds now for DG to get onto site. Still have plenty of utility to do so. Plenty of utility specifically on J9 to check out quite a bit of this site. Those concussions can help with that proximity-based utility going off whenever it gets near someone, so they'll be able to clear the back end. Also, it's going to be very strong up against Alfama, which we saw used earlier on. The Cabotao in tow as well, just to create some space. But they still need to get this diffuser down to extend time. Grenade lands and Alfama's been down. This is going to be a huge problem here for EU. Shuttle on the window as well could slow down anything inside a bunk, and he will. He takes down Kansan. Retro planting. eUnited not ready, but he actually gets one. He gets them both. Oh my God, Grixer, you sneaky bastard. Can he do it? He does. Grixer. Oh my God. What was that? He hides inside this. No, he goes through the smoke. What a psychopath. What was that from Grixer, man? That is a crazy overtime round.
That was absolutely insane. Came down to the very wire as well there. Grixer bringing a hero play to the table. Rexon, of course, trying to help out with that, and him being alive does save the day to a certain extent as he goes down instead of getting knocked out there, keeping eUnited alive and allowing that round to go to its conclusion. eUnited get the first round of OT, and now only need this one extra round on the attacking side to claim the map. This is after we saw Disrupt get up to map point first. They must be reeling right now with how close they came to success. Very well played by Disrupt in the meanwhile to actually get to that point in the round, but one small missed thing, Grixer in the sight that they are not able to calculate, and he shuts down the attempt from Disrupt. Beautifully played.
One small step for man, one massive step for smoke mains nationwide. That was something that I don't think I'm going to see again for a very, very long time. That brought Land Stokes out of me. Like that was some energy that I haven't felt in months. So thank you for that, Grixer. I appreciate it. That was something else, man. Well, I'll be seeing that one in a highlight reel later on, but that doesn't mean that the series is over just yet, folks. This is only map 1 still. We're at overtime match point off of Grixer's efforts, though. 7-6 scoreline in favor of eUnited as they're jumping back on the offense. They're headed towards Throne. These two teams are down for a collision. Let's see how well this roam game works out for DG this time around.
Grixer really saving the day there as well. DG was doing a fantastic job of picking apart the defense from eUnited, a player at a time, oftentimes catching a few of them rotating as well there when the soft destruction really started taking a hit to eUnited's overall setup. DG did a fantastic job, like I said, of getting to that point in the round. It's just so sad that Grixer was able to throw it all into the toilet with his own individual play to give eUnited that round. 7-6 is now the scoreline. We've got eUnited on the attack. Quite a few of their players already working their way over towards the Dragon balcony. Rexon, in fact, I believe is already on the inside as well. If I'm looking at the silhouette rate, which I might not be doing. Yeah, I don't think I'm looking at it right, so never mind on that. But he'll soon be in with the rest of the team here, as they're definitely looking for control there on the south side.
I can definitely tell you at some point the offense is going to get inside of the building.
Like, yeah, I'm just looking for things to say, you know. It's casting and all that.
The life of play-by-play at the beginning of a Rainbow Six Siege round.
I gotta find words, you know.
That's how it works,
Those are
man.
just the wrong words. This happens sometimes.
Very, very unfortunate. But eUnited now setting up for this offense quite well. Already have control of maintenance. They need some hard destruction downstairs, but they only have, well, actually, no, they did end up bringing Ace as well as the Maverick. Just double checking all of the odds and ends real quick as they sledge through the wall. That's why I was checking up on those. But reasoning for that is you can actually end up hiding things inside of the wall. We've been kind of back and forth on this topic quite often inside of competitive play. Is it a good thing to sledge it? Is it a bad thing to sledge it? We'll never really know because some teams do it and some teams don't. The reason that eUnited's doing it right now is because they want the wall to be instantaneously open when Yeti's done maving this. So right when he does this, the wall's going to instantaneously drop and Kansan's going to have a clear line of sight with no soft wall there. So Hopefully they're ready for this, because there could be a possible swing from DG, but nobody playing close to the wall. So that's a very good thing. Had to worry about Retro in that corner.
Reed's still very much ready to take a fight if someone wants to try and swing their way in, though, but he's not even going to get a chance to, as he gets taken down by Rex and through the Dragon doorway, I believe. Very well spotted by Rex, and that's got to happen through some good drone work. Shuttle, though, quickly trades it back out, brings us down to a 4v4. He tries to push the advantage even further, but yet he ends up winning that exchange, giving back the man advantage over towards eUnited in 4v3. He seems to think there's someone else up there, and in fact there is, but unfortunately in the process of throwing that grenade, he allowed for J9O to rotate back down the stairs. He gets the trade. Afama pushes the advantage back under the control of eUnited, but J9O can still cause a lot of problems from up here on the Dragon balcony. Retro is also being challenged deeper in the site over here by Split. It looks like he's got a couple mav holes or something set up against him there through the wall going into drums. And at the end of the day, eUnited will be able to deal with this aggressive pressure, taking out the remaining members of Disrupt, and of course sealing the deal on map number 1, putting them ahead 1-0 in the series.
Amazing stuff by both of these teams. Massive improvements on Disrupt's end as well. Granted, it did take us all the way into overtime to decide this one, and some things were touch or botched, but it's going to